Yep, KMaccTalks, best channel you've never heard of. I'm Kevin KMacc McCarthy, aka KMacc from Connecticut, aka I've never seen a parlay I didn't like. And this is the sports show. Here, we're on the Thursday episode. We're probably going to do them Mondays and Thursdays. This is the inaugural episode. Welcome to the first episode of the new sports show here on the KMaccTalks YouTube channel. We're going to be talking, for about 20 minutes here. I like to talk, but we're going to keep it as brief as possible here for you. And we're going to talk about the hottest sports topics, each and every week, whatever's out there, the fun stuff. I'm not going to sit here and just cram stats and all that. This is a comedic. This is meant to make you laugh. It doesn't have to be so serious, okay? Let's just talk some sports. Let's have some laughs. Let's get right into it, okay? So Kyrie is staying with the Nets. I love this story. I love this story because Kyrie, has such a big head about, he thinks so highly of himself. I love that he went to the Nets and said, if you don't give me, the max contract, top dollars, I'm out of here. I'm going. And the Nets were like, all right, go for it. Go. And we're not giving you top dollars. You barely played. You played, 50 games, 52 games with Kevin Durant in 3 years. You've played about 50% of your games, less than 50% of his games he's played in 3 years. Barely played last year, obviously due to COVID, but he should have chose. Andrew Wiggins didn't want to get the shot. But he said, I'm trying to get a championship. And look what happened to Andrew Wiggins when he got the shot. He's having a parade right now. Kyrie Irving's on some loser like me's podcast saying he's a martyr. That's the difference there. So Kyrie, I just love that he thought still he would get this max contract, $250 million, whatever, this huge amount. They'd max him out after barely playing for 3 years, saying just leaving at sometimes, just leaving when he wants to. What job? He could just leave, go away for 2 weeks because he's, I gotta, the Capitol just got raided. I need some time off. I'm going through trauma. I'm traumatized. And then like 4 days later, there's a picture of you dancing at your cousin's wedding, with a drink in your hand, having a good old time. Real traumatized. I can't stand it. And Kyrie thought he'd get this max contract. So the Nets were like, we're not giving you a max contract. Go ahead. Go see who else wants you. Go out there. And he went out, he wrote out this list. He went out and tested the waters. And apparently nobody had any interest besides the Lakers. Because the Lakers have no other choice. They need a point guard. Obviously the Lakers would want any superstar. The Lakers, would do anything to get him, which I think that'd be a disaster, but that's a whole nother story. But the Lakers were the only team who wanted him, so Kyrie had to come back with his tail between his legs and be like, okay, I guess I'll opt in, actually. I tested it out there. Lots of people were biting, a lot of offers, but I think I'm going to stay with you guys. I think I'll sign my offer. I think I'm good with the $36 million for 1 year, I think that's hilarious that he thought everyone would be, I'm Kyrie Irving. Everyone's going to come running when I say I'm not, I'm not getting max dollars from Brooklyn, so I'm leaving. Everyone's going to come running because I'm Kyrie. Everyone's going to want me. And nobody wanted him. Not one team besides the Lakers. And he had to come back and be like, I am who I am, and write some deep posts like, yeah, you are who you are. Someone who doesn't play. Someone who doesn't show up to work, who plays less than 50%. You are gifted to play a game that people voluntarily, like no one's going to work at McDonald's in their spare time as a hobby. Like no one just goes like, yeah, dude, once I get out of work, I think I'll go to McDonald's and, flip some burgers. No one does that. They go, oh, when I get out of work, I'm going to go down to the basketball court and play hoops for a while. I'm going to play basketball, some one-on-one for a while. People do your thing as a hobby for free. They do it for fun. It's a game. And you get to do it for millions and millions of dollars. you get to do it for. And yet you still can't show up to that. You still can't do that thing that people do for free, for fun. And you get paid $30 million a year, whatever, hundreds of millions of dollars to do it. And you still find something wrong. You still complain. There's still something wrong, you know, and you can't show up to that. That's not even work. That is fun. People do that for free. Like, no one's going to work in a factory when they get out of work because they're just, that's their hobby. It's real fun. No, you just look stupid. And you look stupid that you thought other teams would want to deal with you. You just go to teams and blow them up. All right, this is, see, I talk too long. I'm already fired up, 6 minutes and 50 seconds in, and I'm fired up right now. Okay. And the good news is that Nike won't extend his shoe deal because he, like, bashed the company. They put out the Kyrie 8 pictures. They leaked these photos, and he said, I have nothing to do with this garbage or whatever. So Nike is not going to extend Kyrie's shoe deal, which I think is awesome. I think that's a big deal. But obviously all the shoe companies are going to come running, right? Because you're Kyrie Irving, baby. Once you, I mean, someone probably will. The Kyrie 7s, his last shoe, was garbage. Terrible. I mean, his last shoe was terrible. He's come out with a couple kind of good ones, but I don't know. The new Nike shoes, like the LeBrons, the Kyrie, like you can't wear them casually. Like Jordans, everyone just wears casually. You can't wear these new Nike basketball shoes just casually, you know, with an outfit. They're just fucking too crazy. They're just all over the place with colors and designs. I get you got to do something new and different, but can't fucking wear those to a fucking work luncheon or something. You could wear some Jordan 1s, but yeah, you can't wear these Kyries and LeBrons. They're just look at them. They're crazy. These designs and color, they're like fucking half slippers, half shoes. Fucking, it's insane. So at least I think Kyrie's starting to see that no one wants to deal with you, bro. You blow up every team. Nothing's ever good enough for you. You're never happy. You're so wisdom. You're fucking Gandhi. Your intellect is so otherworldly out there. Blah, blah. Like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm sure you did nothing at Duke. Yeah, you went to Duke, but you don't know what the hell. I mean, you believed in a flat earth for a while. Just sit down. You're all set. Sit down for a little bit. We don't need, if I need any, you know, life advice, I'm not going to Kyrie Irving for it. So that's, you know, just my opinion. Maybe you do. Maybe that's to each their own. Anyways, next story. I love this fucking story. Martellus Bennett called Jimmy Garoppolo a bitch on fucking Devin and Jason McCourty's podcast. He said, you know, he sat out. He's just, no one can win with a bitch as a quarterback was his exact quote. You know, and he said Jimmy Garoppolo was being a bitch. You know, after 2 games, he twisted his shoulder, nothing that serious. You know, and he ended up sitting out the next 2 games. This was during Tom Brady's, you know, 4-game suspension. And Jimmy Garoppolo replaced him and played a great first 2 games. You know, so he's, you know, obviously the big news, and his agent, I guess, was trying, they knew they could get a contract already off of those 2 great games. So he's trying to take care of his body and everything. He gets a little shoulder tug, you know, a little shoulder sprain. And he's like, oh, I got to sit out. But he didn't even decide it on Wednesday or early in the week. He waited till Sunday, I guess, right before the game and said he's sitting out. So Jacoby Brissett had to come in and just on a whim. And they lost the next 2 games because of that. You know, so, and Edelman backed up Martellus Bennett's comment. Edelman was like, we're always playing injured. He's like, I played with a broken finger or something. He's like, we're always playing injured. You know, Martellus Bennett said the same thing. You're in the NFL. You're going to be injured. Everyone is. You know, and we play through it because we want to win. Once again, an ultimate goal of winning a championship. And he gets this little shoulder hurt. Like, this should be your big chance. Tom Brady's 4 games. You have 4 games to prove. Yeah, you proved yourself in 2 games. You won. You looked great. But, you know, you should have more of a sample size than, you know, 2 games. I mean, I guess it worked out for him. He's dating porn stars. You know, he got big money going to places, so it worked out. But I agree with Martellus Bennett. You know, nobody can win That's why he's never going to win the big one, because, you know, anyone touch it, he just reminds me of, you know, someone who touch it, like he just, ow. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo's kind of like a Karen, like on the field. I can see him like getting tackled, kind of driven to the ground and getting up and being like, ref, come here, come here. He kind of drove me to the ground, like kind of hard at the end there. Could you call that a foul? Because it hurt me a lot. And then he called me a bitch afterwards too. He said, you're a little bitch, and you know, shouldn't that be like a flag, like disorderly conduct or something? I mean, just, you know, I'm just letting you know, you do what you want, but I'm just letting you know that he's been calling me names the whole game. He's been calling me names nonstop. That's what Jimmy Garoppolo reminds me of. So no one wants a leader like that, a little bitch boy. Like, they want fucking Tom Brady, smash the helmets in, yeah, let's go, shit. You know, you want someone you can get behind, and I don't think Garoppolo's someone anyone wants to play for. No one's like, I'm gonna go and I want to play for Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, that's who I want to go play for. And no free agents are saying that. You'll never hear that sentence. So that's why I never think he came as close as I feel like he just gets lucky. He's in the right places at the right time. He's on a good team to even get as far as he got, but he'll never get back to the Super Bowl. He'll never win. And, you know, he is a bitch. I agree with Julian Edelman and Martellus Bennett on that one. So, good call. Good call. Next topic, well, I mean, we could talk about Deshaun Watson. The Texans were named as a defendant in his civil case, the Houston Texans. And honestly, when this came out, I thought the Houston Texans, like, leaked it or paid some girls to do it at first. Because, you know, when this started, Deshaun Watson was requesting a trade from Houston. He wanted out of Houston, and Houston, obviously, he's their foundation. He's their big quarterback, their best player ever, their only chance of succeeding. So I thought they didn't want him to leave, and Deshaun Watson was demanding to leave, saying he'll sit out. He's demanding a trade. He's not playing again for the Texans. And I thought they, like, paid off some girls or something to say, you know, he did all this shit so no other teams would want him. You know, they'd be like, oh, we don't want any trouble with that, so the Texans could keep him. But that was not the case. This was, you know, at first I believed in Deshaun Watson. I thought it was real. You know, maybe 2 or 3 girls, even 3 or 4. Maybe you were a little frisky. You had a couple shots of Casamigos before the massage. You were feeling a little loose. You know, you just listening to some good music. You got a little antsy. You got a little handsy. You know, you got overly excited there. I get it. A couple times, you know, whatever. You're a passionate massage receiver or whatever. You know, I thought maybe you make a couple mistakes. Okay, I get it. But 24. Okay, where there's smoke, there is fire, and he's having a bonfire. That shit is on fire. You know, it's far from, yeah, just being a little sauced a couple times and just, you know, being too aggressive and whatever, you know, feeling yourself a little too much. You know, that's beyond that 24 times. Like, come on, bro. It's crazy, and they keep coming. I think there's more out there. Like, Jesus Christ, you got 67 massages. I still have yet to even get a massage. I gotta get on that. But he's putting Robert Kraft to shame out there. He's like, you only got one rub and tug? Watch this. Hold my beer. I mean, Deshaun Watson, that's impressive. 24 lawsuits. I mean, he cleared them all up. Besides 4, but those 4 are ride or die. They're going till the end, so that could ruin him. We'll see. I mean, if you get, I think a year's a lot to suspend him because he's already out a year. But hey, that's probably the right thing. We've never seen anything like this. 24 lawsuits, bro. That's breaking records. No one's even seen like this. Even fucking, oh God, the Giants linebacker who was smoking crack and stuff, even he's like, Jesus, Deshaun, calm down over there. Like, fuck. I mean, obviously the Houston Texans, you know, helped him out a little bit, and they helped think they're saying they helped book the massages. Of course they did. They're his team. I mean, I don't know. They're going to let their superstar, teams are going to let their superstar do what they want. You know, states are, you know, how many times has a player done domestic abuse or something? As long as they're winning, as long as they're succeeding on the field, they're going to let them do what they want. They're going to, fans, the teams, they're going to forgive you faster. All they care about are you winning. You throw that, he could go, you know, get a massage, you know, sexually harass a girl. As long as he throws 4 touchdowns and 500 yards on Sunday, I'm sorry, people are gonna forget about it and be like, we need to keep him. I mean, you see that touchdown pass he threw? But yeah, he kind of like sexually assaulted a bunch of women. But yeah, he threw 4 touchdowns though, and I mean, he's bringing us to playoffs this year. It's sad. It's sad, man. It's sad that it is that way. But that's all they care about is going to the Super Bowl and winning, and that's just how it is. I mean, it's the unfortunate thing, but it's how it is. If you're winning on the field, you're succeeding, they're going to forget you can get away with some things. I mean, it's sad. A guy Miles Bridges, just got felony domestic assault. He was just arrested. Miles Bridges from the Charlotte Hornets, you know, just got arrested. Felony domestic assault. I guarantee, you know, it'll kind of get swept under the rug and forgot about. And as long as he balls out, if he's averaging 25 and 5 rebounds and 3 assists, we're going to forget about that case. It'll go away because he's winning on the court. It's sad, but it's the truth. I'm only speaking the truth. So, you know, Deshaun Watson, once he gets this year suspension, will still be young. He goes out and balls out. All this will be forgotten about is the thing. He brings the Browns and wins a Super Bowl for Cleveland Browns. He wins a Super Bowl. You think they're ever going to care or remember about these 24 assault cases? Fuck no. The Cleveland Browns, if he wins them a Super Bowl, I think they've never won. They've been terrible for so long. He'd be a saint to them, a god of statues. He'd never pay for food in Cleveland. He'd be a god to Cleveland. My God, like, they look at what happened. He had these 24 assault cases, and he gets $260 million fully guaranteed. If you're a good basketball, football, baseball player, they don't give a fuck what you do off the field, as long as you're balling out on the field. And that's just the sad fucking truth. Next story, Adrian Peterson and Le'Veon Bell are set to fight in a celebrity boxing match. They're having a boxing event on June 30th. I believe it's at MSG. And Adrian Peterson and Le'Veon Bell are going to fight in it. It makes me a little sad. Le'Veon Bell, I get, you know, he got one contract for $64 million. I know he had contracts and made money before, but Le'Veon Bell just got that one contract he was looking for, and he's like, fuck it, I'm done playing good. He's like, I'm just going to do the bare minimum. I'm good. I got paid. I'll be out of this league. I know he's like kind of playing for the Buccaneers still, but he was so good. Le'Veon Bell was like going to be the next fucking great like running back, and like he had a style like none other, and would just wait for the play to develop. Seemed like he was barely moving, and then just burst through the hole and go. He was good, man. It was so good, and then all of a sudden he gets a contract from the Jets. And I know it's the Jets, but he just plays like shit now. He doesn't care. He got paid. He's good. He just could care less. And now he's like trying to be a rapper and putting out terrible music. And it's like at least fucking my God, at least Antonio Brown. That's it. At least Antonio Brown got hit by Vontaze Burfict and clearly has some sort of like, you know, CTE going on, you know, some sort of mental. It seems like Le'Veon Bell seems like he's all there all the time, very competent. And I'm not saying, you know, Antonio Brown definitely has any of that stuff, but he seems more sporadic. Le'Veon Bell seems like he's fully aware of how shitty he's playing, and like just doesn't care anymore, and just he's clearly not fully aware that his rap music sucks, but that's a whole nother issue. But he just doesn't care, it seems like, anymore. He's set with the money he made. He's good. He knows he's set for life. His kids are set for life. He's fine. And now he's doing like embarrassing celebrity boxing. And it's just, it hurts more for Adrian Peterson, because besides that mess up where he's hitting his kid with a switch, which I thought wasn't quite as big of a deal. If you grew up, if you're a 90s baby, 80s baby, slapping your kids, you know, spanking your kids, hitting them with a switch, it's a little aggressive, I'll admit, but not as big of a deal as it was made out to be, I thought. But Adrian Peterson seems like classy, like a legend in the game. It seems like he doesn't need this. I'll get even Dancing with the Stars if you do that shit. I think he's already done that, but celebrity boxing match for Social Gloves Boxing. It is at MSG, I guess, so that's a big deal, and you know, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, this is a big fight for them. That's got to be the biggest match for Social Gloves Boxing. I definitely want to see it because Adrian Peterson, you know, is in shape. Like, he still looks like he was 25. He's 37, Adrian Peterson, and he's just still fucking cut as hell, just jacked. I think he still beat Le'Veon Bell's ass up Le'Veon Bell, I think, is 30 on the dot, or 31. And I think Le'Veon Bell's going to lose this, probably, because I just don't see Le'Veon Bell caring. He only care as long as he gets his check. Le'Veon just seems like he's been to the club too much lately. Been drinking and partying with rappers and, you know, playing his mixtape a little too long there. I don't know. Le'Veon Bell just seems out of shape and slow to me. And Adrian Peterson just seems like he'll take it as a challenge as an older guy against a younger guy. And it seems like it'll be a pretty good fight. I got Adrian Peterson. I don't know if he knock him out, though. It'd be cool to see a knockout, but I think they'll go the distance. I think it'll go the distance. Adrian Peterson, though, would that be an upset? I guess Le'Veon Bell's younger. He's got 7 years on him. Their height and weight's pretty close. It's a pretty good fight in that area. They match up well. Probably be the same weight class and everything, so I don't know. It'll be interesting, and I'll definitely be watching after all that. Austin McBroom, you got a subscription out of me in the end. Can't hate on it if I'm watching that. So it's big for Social Gloves Boxing, I guess. I wonder what the paycheck's like. It must be pretty decent for them to do it. You know, because there's always the risk of being knocked out like Nate Robinson, and you know, that being a meme and on the internet forever. So the check's got to be pretty good. But hey, we'll see. All right, finally, let's just go over some of the trades, the NBA trades here. John Wall to the LA Clippers. I think this is a really big, like, you know, I mean, people have been talking about it, so it's not underrated or not talked about or whatever. It's not being swept under the rug, but I think it's bigger deal than people are making it out to be. John Wall, he's just been injured. He's taken some time off, so his body kind of has been resting too. So he should be fresh coming off all these injuries. And I mean, John Wall, if you remember, just a few years ago when he was good in his prime, like, and he's not far off his prime. He's still young. He's not old or anything. I think he could come back and have some great, if he's anything like his former self, even close to it, even 75%. You got a great ball player right there to add to. Now, Kawhi Leonard's coming back healthy. You got a healthy Paul George, and you got a healthy John Wall. You add in a Marcus Morris and stuff, and all those guys they got, you know, Pat Beverly, whoever you add in those guys, I mean, that's a team to contend this year. Like, the Clippers are going to contend this year for sure. Watch out for them, I'm telling you. And I feel like they mesh together a little better. They'll like Paul George, they're not selfish. I feel like they can, whoever's got the hot hand will be going good that night. They'll let him have the ball. It's not like Russell Westbrook going to the Lakers where it's just, you can tell that shit's not going to work. Russell, Anthony Davis, and LeBron, you could just tell already it's not going to work. The chemistry's not right. It just doesn't seem right. John Wall, Kawhi, Paul George seems like it could work really well. That just seems like it fits way better. John Wall used to be one of my favorite players when in his prime, you know, doing the Dougie thing. I'm not going to try to do it, but it had something to do with wiping your chest. His dance move. I'm just saying, if he's back to that John Wall at all. That's a big move. That's a big pickup right there. So we'll look out for that. The Knicks are going all in for Jalen Brunson. You know, will he solve all the worlds? Is Jalen Brunson the godsend for the Knicks here? It just seems like such another Knicks move, going all in for this one player that they want so bad. They think it's going to solve everything. He's the new hot guy who just had a great playoffs, but he hasn't really, you know, had a season's worth of good stats. You know, he hasn't had a big, you know, body of work to prove that he can do this over time. He just had one real hot playoff run, and the Knicks are like, that's it, that's him, that's the guy, we need that guy. You know, they need a point guard, and that's a great point guard, it seems, but it just seems they want him so bad and think he's, you know, they think he's gonna solve all their problems. They just want him so much. You have to think that that's gonna fail. That's gonna be just like the Knicks and fail very quickly and just in tremendous fashion in Knicks fashion. You know, that's just me. Maybe it's bias as a Celtics fan, but hey, who knows? Anyways, the Spurs just traded DeJounte Murray to the Hawks. DeJounte Murray. I don't know why I said that. It's DeJounte. Sounds French. But DeJounte Murray to the Hawks for several first-rounders. I think it's like 3 first-rounders and Danilo Gallinari. You know, isn't Danilo Gallinari like 45? It seems like he's been in the league forever. Like, I mean, I guess he's a big piece. That's like, I mean, at least they'll know where all the best Italian food is. I mean, in San Antonio. But yeah, I don't know. DeJounte Murray seems like he was like just blossoming. He's young. I think they said he's 25. Just started averaging over 20. Like, it seems like this was his breakout big year. And then you're going to trade him? Even if you get 3 first-rounders, like, there's no guarantee any of those first-rounders are going to become as good as DeJounte Murray. Like, he seems like he's about to start blowing up and become a superstar. At least a good star. At least, you know, second-team All-NBA and maybe first-team soon. DeJounte Murray seemed like he was really on the rise, so... And it seemed like he could fit in well with the Hawks and Trae Young. You know, like he could be, they're both kind of point guards and ball dominant, so, but I think they can make sacrifices, you know, and, you know, Trae Young maybe become more of a spot-up shooter. It could, like, if they mold together, it kind of reminds me of maybe a Trailblazers, CJ McCollum and, you know, Damian Lillard situation, but I think it could work out well for the Hawks. I think it's a good move for the Hawks, even though you're giving up 3 first-rounders. DeJounte Murray is already, you know, solidified, going to be a great player and a young 25-year-old good player. You know, you never know what those first-rounders are going to be. So you got someone solidified that's good, that's young, on the rise. I mean, why not make that trade? You know, I know you're giving up Danilo Gallinari. But I think it was a good trade. I think it could only help the Hawks. I mean, they still have John Collins. They got a team over there. The Hawks, I mean, just last year, remember they went to the Eastern Conference Finals or something? I mean, the Hawks can make some noise this season. You know, I think the East is going to be stacked again. It's going to be the Celtics. It's going to be the Bucks. And it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, and then you always have the Heat in there. And you could have the 76ers. I don't think so. I think James Harden is only gonna party with Lil Baby more. Lil Baby's putting out an album this year. James Harden's got to celebrate with Lil Baby for his album run and release parties and all that. And James Harden's got a lot more drinking and clubbing and strip clubs to go to. I mean, James Harden opted out of his like 50-year contract and he wants money from the Sixers. Another guy who just like Le'Veon Bell, and it just seems like he gave up once he's gotten to a certain point here. James Harden's made so much money, he's filthy rich at this point. It just seems like before he'd party, he'd be out partying and all that, but he'd get back in shape, you know, he'd get back in basketball shape and everything. Now it just seems like he just started partying, he's like, fuck it, I'm done getting back in shape, dude. I'm good, I'm rich, I might get one more big contract, fuck it. And that's That's all. I would never give him a big max contract. No way. He's not even on the Sixers. You got Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey is their second best player. Then I think probably Tobias Harris might be almost still is right there with James Harden. Like, James Harden's the third best player on his team. Don't give him max contract. That's nuts. So, I mean, he's only, with that body shape, he's got a severe dad body. He's never been a cut fucking guy as it is. He's always looked like he's just a dad playing the over 40 YMCA league on Sundays, you know, but somehow it worked for him. You always see him moving slow as hell, but it just worked for him. His little hesitation moves and Euro steps traveled, and just asking for fouls. That's all he wanted, ask for fouls, beg for fouls, and shoot fucking, he'd score 45 points, but 30 of them would come from free throws. But now with the NBA rules changing, he's not getting those fouls anymore. They're not giving him those foul calls. That's why he's not scoring as much. He's not getting to the line 25 times. So, you know, without all that, James Harden's been figured out. You know, without his foul, all his moves have been figured out. So, James Harden, if the Sixers give him max money, they're crazy there. But all right, guys, that is the first inaugural sports show here on the KMaccTalks channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're doing the sports show 2 times a week. I think Mondays, Thursdays. We'll see. A lot of fun stuff here on the KMaccTalks channel, the best channel you've never heard of. Once again, I'm Kevin KMac McCarthy, and have yourselves a wonderful day.